Hey, this your boy Diggaveli. Welcome back to the channel. And just a question for like America in general. When y'all decided to vote against Donald Trump, because I know most of you didn't vote for Biden, y'all just voted against Donald Trump, who was one of the best things for the country at the moment. But when y'all cast y'all vote against Donald Trump, did y'all ever think that the alternative was gonna lead you into World War III or damn near close to it? Pretty sure you didn't. Just like you, I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't know that Hamas just declared war on America. Yeah. Shout out to Joe Biden for bringing us into World War III and destroying America. But you ain't got to listen to me, man. Let's get into the video.
To finding out something big, October 7th may be the first drop of a much bigger and violent rain. What happened in Israel on that fateful day and then the brutal airstrikes that left hundreds of innocent Palestinians dead may only be the start of a larger war. That's because Hamas has just declared its grand ambitions for a widespread war on the Western world, with America as the epicenter of this new front. But what you're about to hear now is not just another terror plot, but the unraveling of a larger nexus that will leave you with very little trust in the systems and governments of the world. Before we dive into it, we cover important news stories like this every day, so please do subscribe to Freedom Frontline to stay updated with all of our future content. The former leader of Hamas has just put a date on map, Friday, October 13th, as a call to pro-Hamas militants around the world to engage in acts of terror, infiltration, and intimidation. Now, this is a date that might move, but the message of putting a date is very clear. Hamas wants history to remember something, and it wants to make sure there's big enough damage it can do so that the day is remembered.
A former head of the terror group Hamas designating Friday, October 13th, the day of jihad, calling on Muslims to take to the streets and deliver a message of anger.
Now, I know what you're wondering. How does a terror group of a mere 30,000 fighters penetrate deep into America and the Western countries in the first place?
Now, before it continues, I already got a pretty good idea. The southern border that Joe Biden left wide open. He even said before he got elected, he wanted immigrants to come through. He knew that it could, he knew what would happen. He knew terrorists and cartel and all that were going to come through the border and do all that stuff, man. We've been having people come from Iran, Africa, Venezuela. Like, they try to make it seem like all the immigrants were coming from Venezuela and a lot of these other countries that were doing bad. Like, bro, we have people coming from the Middle East and a whole nother continent, Africa and all that, because they know that the southern border is wide open and the northern border was open too, but they don't mention that. People are coming through the northern border too. So we're being invaded by both borders right now. Yo, Joe Biden is hands down the worst fucking thing that has ever happened to America. All the blood that's been spilled and all the destruction of this country falls on everybody who decided to shit on Donald Trump due to brainwashing social media. Instead of making your own assumption about what's going on, y'all ran with the media narrative. Now look how mainstream media has done you. Lied to you continuously. Hell, they killed people and gave them terrible health problems on how they went about the COVID and the pandemic. Lying to all these people. Oh, you get the vaccine, you can't get COVID. You can't pass it to anybody. You're completely safe. You can go anywhere you want. Then they turn around now this year and CDC tells people that the ones who had the vaccines are the most likely to get COVID and die. You see how evil these people are and what they did to you? Now look what they're doing to the world. And who knows? It's millions of people who's crossed the border into America. Any year, during any time from now on out, we can have any terrorist attack pop up. Any terrorist attack. Any of the mass shooting, explosions, bombings, any of that shit can happen now due to Joe Biden, man, and these Democrats who push these radical policies, man, and are anti-American. These people are America last. That's why they continue to send billions of our dollars that causes crazy inflation on us to other countries, to money laundering and send back to themselves. Like, this is one of the worst times in American history, and nobody's just batting an eye. Food is unaffordable, rent is unaffordable. Hell, in Chicago, they just gave 9,000 per family rental assistance to immigrants. Wow. Like actively Chicago residents are being like evicted out of their houses and apartments. No lie. They're giving 9,000 in rental assistance to immigrants when their citizens are being are being made homeless every day. You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make it up. But y'all thank Biden, man, and the brainwashing that y'all allowed to happen to yourselves for that shit.
That's where it gets a lot more interesting and, shall I say, a lot more sinister. This day of terrorism will be a result of individuals already inside these countries with civilians as their primary target. Remember, terrorism is a violent means to a political end, but I honestly believe an ambitious act of this magnitude is just evil for the sake of it. It is death and destruction for the sake of it, and this is the scariest type of evil that exists because there's nothing in particular that it wants. There's nothing you can give it to satiate it and make it stop. That's what Hamas has decided to morph into. Do you know what makes a country like the United States with a basically open southern border particularly vulnerable? We've had 1.7 million encounters at the border with illegal migrants trying to cross over into the United States in this year alone, with hundreds of thousands that have successfully made the escape into the mainland. What's even more pernicious is that this porous border is attracting illegal migrants from all over the world who see it as an easy entry into the United States. These are people that travel from areas like the Middle East and South Asia specifically to take advantage of the border situation in America's South. It's believed that these special interest aliens and a group that was infiltrated by people with a malicious terrorist intent. That should jolt anyone looking at the current border crisis because it's the biggest gaping hole in the security of American citizens today, especially those on the border regions. And it's not just us. Countries in Europe as well as Britain are feeling the consequences of mass immigration in just a few short years. As non-native populations swell, even a tiny percent of people with unsavory ideas start to become a much larger problem. Isn't that what we just saw with the wave of protests across the Western world celebrating the Hamas attack? Watch this clip of one such rally in the UK with some rather graphic anti-Semitic chants. The call by the Hamas leader is capable of igniting a fire on gasoline that's already...
And you know the crazy thing about that, I'm all for people representing their country and whatever, but if y'all so pro your country, why the hell are you in America? Like, if you love your country so much and it means so much to you, why are you not there living? Making your country great. Because it's saying, people are so pro this and that. Like, you see, I don't hold nothing against nobody, but you see Puerto Rican flags everywhere, you see Palestinian, you see it, like, those are the only flags you see in these people's yard. Why are you in America? If you don't like our country, you don't respect our country, you don't respect our flag is the number one flag to you, why are you here? If you're so gun-ho about your country, go home. Like, I don't understand that shit, man. Like, we're Americans, we're born here. Our family was born here. We shouldn't have to deal with all this bullshit from other people in other countries, man. You either respect America, you put America first when you come over here, or you could just go your ass back to your country. If somebody was to tell me, oh, go back to where I come from, I'm from America. My lineage is from America. Despite all the garbage they want to tell people, I'm not from Africa, never been there. Like, my family isn't from there. I can go back generations. We've been in America. So it's America first over here, man. America or nothing with me. Just like you got all these people pro their country. Okay. Your country means so much to you. Why are you in America? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Because we're the greatest country in the world with the most freedoms. And they want to get rid, Democrats and Joe Biden want to get rid of all that shit. They want us to be communist like China. I don't like what you say. Cancel this guy. Don't ever let him speak. Don't ever let him get any money or anything anymore. That's the type of shit they own. But we America, man. Land of the free, home of the brave. Home of the, if you don't like it, get your ass out of it.
Already poured. I actually think the Israel-Palestine issue can potentially be the perfect launchpad for a new global war Both sides in this conflict are extremely blinded by their own virtue and make totalitarian claims to a land whose history is very blurry and muddled. I mean, we are already seeing the conflict catalyzing a division of two blocks, either with Israel or with the Palestinians. Saudi Arabia has just halted its drive for normalization of ties with Israel and actually held conversations with the Iranian regime over the Palestine issue. The US, UK, and France have thrown all their weight behind Israel, along with most of the Western world. And these sentiments are echoed by their populations. Here's an incredible clip from the capital of Jordan, with thousands of people gathered and demanding their government to open the border so they can go and fight Israel. That's the level of polarization today, both on a national and individual level. I think there's a lesson for us in America as well. There has never been a more important time for Americans to be able to defend themselves. The attacks imminent are on an individual level and can only be defended against on an individual level. That's why the Second Amendment exists and is more relevant today than ever before.
Thanks.
Taking away the right to bear arms is effectively taking away the right to self-defense in a situation where the enemy is bound by no moral regulations.
And you know the craziest thing about what he just said is that just look at Democrats and Joe Biden and push. Their push is to de-arm us. Like, they want to get rid of guns, man. They want to repeal the Second Amendment. They want to do all this, but at the same time, allowing us to be invaded at both of our borders and allowing us to be in two conflicts. Where we have all these immigrants in here that's not even from here, that has their loyalty to their home country. But he wants the Americans to get rid of their protection and do nothing. Yo, you have to understand, these people are not fucking Americans. I don't care if they were born here or not. These Democrat motherfuckers and Joe Biden, these people are anti-American. Like, this is the worst. This is one of the worst travesties America ever done, is to elect anti-Americans to run America. This shit is disgusting, man. Now look at all the shit we in. Like, it's gonna take us decades to get out of all this trash they involved us in, man. And then World War III hit hell. They're gonna be out here trying to do whatever, man. They might bring back lockdowns and try to like, bro. Disgusting how we allowed America to fall so low, man. Because y'all brainwashed by media and paid fucking actors. Imagine having Hollywood actors as y'all political guidance. your political guides. Somebody who gets paid millions of dollars to be somebody else, like for their whole life, to act like somebody else. You're actually listening to these people. Shit is disgusting.
And by the way, I do not want you to leave this video with a sense of irrational paranoia or some sort of xenophobia against people of other ethnicities. I feel like the fear comes very quickly in discussions like this, but it's also equally important to be afraid of the right things. The actions and ideas of Hamas do not represent the entire Palestinian population, who are normal people just like us that have been living in unfathomable conditions for decades. Also, don't think Hamas as a group itself has any large-scale support among the global Muslim community. Because it doesn't. I've known people from a variety of ethnic, national, and religious backgrounds, including Muslims, who I work with and communicate every single day. I've realized people everywhere are basically the same. They're peace-loving people who just want to go on with their lives in a fulfilling and productive manner. However, right now, there's a need for us to be as united as possible, yet as vigilant as possible when it comes to our own safety.
But how can you do that type of shit with the leadership that we have when they're trying to get rid of our safety? Like, man, make America great again. This shit is ridiculous. Like, we had a terrorist group just declare war on us. And nobody's batting an eye about it, man. Crazy, man. But y'all seen it like I seen it, man. Better go get you some protection. And you better love the Second Amendment while we got it. Because I'm telling you, you're going to need it. Y'all seen it like I seen it, man. I'm out.